Hello everyone, a warm welcome back. It's great to have you with us again. In today's video, I'll be showing you in detail, step by step, how to install the Zendure solar flow, how to set it up, and what to consider during the process. The comprehensive review where I introduced and tested the solar flow has a link up here in the top right corner of the info card. However, in today's video, we're exclusively focusing on the installation and setup. For this reason, I'd say let's dive right into the video. But before we do, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel for free and activate the bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. The current prices can be found as usual down in the video description. Thank you for your attention, and without further ado, let's get started after the intro. As we saw in the previous video, the Zendure solar flow is undoubtedly an extremely practical addition when it comes to optimizing battery solar power systems and effectively storing electricity. However, despite the simplicity of the installation in this kit, it might not be immediately clear at first glance. In essence, you should plan for at least 30 minutes for the installation. We'll now thoroughly explore how to proceed and what to consider in this video. The set always consists of a PV hub and at least one battery, the AB1000. So whether you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 batteries, the installation process remains the same. Zendure envisions the battery to be placed on the ground and the PV hub typically mounted on the wall. For this purpose, we find a total of 4 small cutouts on the back of the PV hub. This means before we mount the PV hub on the wall, we first need to find a suitable spot where we actually want to place it. The position of the solar flow system depends on various factors. Firstly, we should make sure that the entire system is not directly in the sun if possible. This is because when it's already 30 degrees Celsius outside in the summer and the sun is beating down on it, the technology gets extremely hot, which isn't great for its lifespan. Therefore, try to avoid placing it directly in the sun. Additionally, the cables that come with the solar panels in the package are only 3 meters long. This means we either use those cables and position the system 3 meters away, or we purchase separate cables that are a bit longer. This isn't a problem since we have the typical MC4 connectors here. Just keep in mind that the power cable for the battery cannot be easily extended. It's 1.5 meters long, which means the battery has to be placed near the PV hub. After we found the perfect position for our solar flow system, we start by mounting the PV hub to the wall. For this, there are 4 anchors included in the package, along with screws and 2 washers. Furthermore, for the installation, we naturally need a marker for marking, a tape measure, and a level to ensure everything hangs nicely straight on the wall. This means we take a tape measure and measure the distance between the 2 holes, which is a total of 34.3 millimeters. Then, using the marker and level, we mark 2 points on the wall, recheck the measurements, drill 2 holes, insert the yellow anchors, and then we can securely screw the PV hub to the wall. In the next step, we place the AB1000 battery near the PV hub. On the bottom, there are 4 non-slip feet to ensure the battery stays in place and the surface is protected. If we want to connect multiple batteries together, it's important that we remove the rubber cover on the bottom of the upper batteries. Then we place the battery on its left side and snap it in so that the contacts are cleanly connected and there are no issues. Whether we're using 1, 2, 3, or 4 batteries, the uppermost battery serves as the connection between the PV hub and the battery pack. For this purpose, as mentioned before, there's a thick 1.5 meter cable included in the package to connect these 2 elements. The connectors are quite straightforward. The plug is simply pushed in and can be easily released by pressing the sleeve at the bottom. This is also demonstrated briefly. And the same goes for the PV hub. Thus, the battery is now connected to the PV hub. The next step involves connecting our solar flow system to our existing microinverter or inverter. Here's an example of my currently used microinverter, and as mentioned, there are 2 60-centimeter cables provided in the package to connect the microinverter to the PV hub. Let's take a closer look at the PV hub. On the left side, as you can see, there are 4 cables clearly for the 2 PV inputs, and on the right side, also clearly labeled, it says microinverter output. This means we have 2 MC4 connectors here, and this is where the microinverter connects. The positive aspect is that the MC4 connectors provide us with a lot of flexibility. So we can either use the 2 short 60cm cables to directly connect the microinverter here, or we can use our own cables to place the microinverter farther away. In the next step, it's time to connect the inverter and thus the entire system to the power grid. This simply involves plugging in the plug from the inverter or microinverter into the socket, and that's it. The only thing left now is the PV modules. As mentioned earlier, on the left side, there are a total of 2 inputs for 2 PV modules, also equipped with MC4 connectors. This means we can simply use the included 4 cables of 3 meters each, or we can use our own cables to place the PV modules farther away. Once the entire system is wired up, I know it looks a bit chaotic on the table, but the cables can be managed much better on the wall. It's time to activate the PV hub. To do this, simply hold down the only button here for 2 seconds. That covers the hardware installation. Now let's move on to the software. For this, we need the Zendure app. On page 13 of the user manual, there's a small QR code that you can either scan with your smartphone to directly access the app, or you can search for Zendure in the App Store or Play Store and download the app for free. After the app is installed, create a free user account by registering and verifying your email. You'll then land on the home screen. In the next step, we need to add the system to your user account. To do this, click the plus sign at the top right. A list of Zendure products will appear. Scroll all the way down and in the bottom right corner, you'll see the Solar Flow system. Click on it as well. Next, you'll be asked to activate the PV hub. Since we've already done this, confirm it here and you'll move to the next page. Now it will show us that we need to put the PV hub into pairing mode. This involves holding down the middle Wi-Fi button for 3 seconds until the LED above it starts blinking rapidly. Next, the smartphone starts searching for a Solar Flow device nearby, and behold, it was immediately recognized. Confirm it once. Now we're prompted to choose how we want to pair with the smartphone or the network, either via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Personally, I would recommend connecting the Solar Flow system to the home network, simply because it allows us to access the system remotely. Confirm this choice. The system now begins searching for available Wi-Fi networks, including both 2.4 and 5 GHz frequencies. This means we select our own home network, confirm the selection, and enter the Wi-Fi password. It's crucial to ensure that the router settings permit new devices to connect. Then confirm again and the device initiates the connection process with the home network. Very importantly, do not forget to attach the small mini antenna to the underside of the PV hub, as it significantly enhances reception. That is, at the bottom left corner you'll find the port. Simply screw the small antenna onto it and then initiate the connection setup or search. This process might take a moment. Once the connection is established, you'll receive the message, "Congratulations, your device has been successfully paired." Following this, you can assign a name to the system, confirm the choice, and you'll be back to the home page. Great! Thus, our new Solar Flow system is now successfully connected. However, there are still a few minor things that need to be configured for a proper start. After adding our new system, we can find it on the home screen right in the center. Tap on it and you'll notice that further initialization settings need to be configured. What does that entail? It's quite straightforward. Now you'll be asked about the type of microinverter or inverter you're using. From the list, you can choose from various manufacturers. If your inverter's manufacturer isn't listed, you can simply select Other. Confirm this selection once more, and now you'll be asked about the maximum power output you want to set for the inverter. However, the PV hub can handle considerably more, specifically up to 1200 watts at its peak. This means in the app, you'll now have the option to adjust the power output in 100-watt increments, ranging from 100 to 1200 watts. The choice depends on the power capacity of your inverter, whether it's a microinverter or a standard inverter. After setting the appropriate power level of the microinverter, we confirm our selection and we're directed to the next page, which is the main page of our Solar Flow system. Here, we receive a brief introduction to the initial steps. So far, so good. With this, the entire system is essentially ready for use. However, there is an important point we should definitely look into beforehand: updates. This means we switch to the settings at the upper right corner of the app and then select Updates. Here, any available updates for the system will be displayed. It's highly recommended to install these updates as they resolve issues and introduce new features. There are updates available for both the PV hub and the battery. This involves downloading and installing the updates one by one. Just ensure that the battery has a capacity of over 10%, and then the process poses no issue. Subsequently, the system will restart and the updates will be successfully installed. And there you have it. Congratulations! Your new SolarFlow system is now completely installed and ready for use. Of course, the app also allows for further adjustments, such as different modes like battery priority mode or the intelligent mode, which involves the use of smart plugs. However, even in its basic state, the system functions excellently. This means that the energy generated by your balcony solar power system is now automatically directed to both the storage and the home network. So that concludes the installation and setup of the system. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please show your support with a strong thumbs up to assist my work. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe to the channel for free and activate the notification bell to ensure you never miss a video in the future. You can find the current prices in the video description below, and a comprehensive review is available on the info card in the upper right corner. With that, I'd like to say thank you for your support. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.